that worked, we should have it where the stream updates, and we should be kicking her back off with the next one. But that was definitely a nail-biting series to start off the night, as we did see Radiance finding their way to that win. It was a 50-50 vote. But as we said, Radiance able to slide away with that one. Find it in Game 5. Very close series. Both teams fighting hard tooth and nail. But thank you all so much for those of you who drop follows to come watch the games and that. It's great to be able to see it. We will be prepping the lobby now for Game 2. And once we get that going, then we will put it out there and run through what is to come. But quite the start to the IGL season, with the first one going the full best of 5 and finding its way to the point where it was anyone's Game 5 all the way down to the wire. Following it back on up, we will have some 2v2 action coming on up shortly once we get back towards the top of the hour and get our players and teams back in here and create the new lobby. We should be good to go. All right. As I tried to look it up, so I'll be honest because I see you in chat right now. I don't know if you go by Faruska or Farucha, because when I go through it, the translation could be Farucha. But if you want, I can just go with Faruska. But we will go from there. Trying to get your game started up relatively quickly here. Definitely GG's indeed. It was quite the series to get a cast, you guys. Unfortunate you guys ended up dropping in the end of that one, but very good series to start it on off between you guys and Radiance, going out the whole Game 5. Both teams looking pretty good to start off the season, so definitely will be something to see how you guys progress going forward. All right, we'll go with Faruska. And we will get this prediction up underway. For anyone who wants to partake in it for Game 2, we will have Galactic Galaxia up against Old Fellas coming up. I did post that into the server. Obviously, it's something you guys probably will stay warming up. because I'm going to guess we are not starting off until the top of the hour. But I just like to have the game ready, and that way, once both teams are good to go, we can jump into that one. But very good game to start off the night in the 3v3 category between Radiance and 130 Sports. Now we will be following it up with some 2v2 action on the USE server. Still sticking in Tier 2, Division 4 now with Galactic, Galaxia, Faruska, and a Wild Matthias going up against Preach and Nuthers. So we will be able to see how this one plays on out at the top of the hour as we get this one going. I will just double check to make sure I have that right. And it looks like I did that fine, where if you guys want to watch your series back, for those of you from the last one, it is already a VOD, so you guys can go just click on my channel instead, and you will see Radiant Sabres versus 130 Sports. So that way, for any of you players who want to just watch it back immediately and see if there's anything you guys got, that's what you guys have. Otherwise, for those of you who are just looking to chill, we will have Galactic, Galaxia coming up against Old Fellows. As I said, 2v2 action, USE's Tier 2 at probably around the start of the hour. But just finalized the first series, so might as well kick up on the second one. If I have some time, I'm going to quickly go refill the water, and then ideally when I get back, I can run through it again. We'll probably wait about another 5 minutes before we are able to get that one kicked on up from there. As back we are, 10 minutes to the lobby starting up now, so we will just run through it one more time. We have coming up Galactic, Galaxia up against Old Fellows, and this one will be kicking off at the top of the hour. Faruska and Wild Matthias going on against Preach and Nuthers. Galaxia versus Old Fellows. For this one, we did end up closing out the series between Radiance and 1/3 Esports. Heck of a hard-fought series where Radiance did end up pulling out the win in 5 games. 2 of them did end up going to overtime. And then 1/3 Esports also able to take 2 games on their own, where it was very back and forth. As I said, Radiance take game 1 in overtime. 130 Esports fighting Game 2. Game 3, Radiance once again taking it in overtime. Game 4, 130 Esports finding a 1-goal win. And then finally in Game 5, Radiance able to tuck it away with a 1-goal win where it was even where 1/3 had their chances at the end. But Radiance was able to close that one on out. So really good, hard-fought first series of the year for me on casting IGL. Definitely enjoyed that one. And I'm hoping we get some of the same type of action here going into Game 2 between Galactic, Galaxia, and Old Fellas, as we will be kicking this one off at the top of the hour. It's definitely something to be said, whereas you start off your season and you do have those moments of you don't know who's going to show up, who's going to play how, because certain players sometimes end up just taking like the whole time off between the winter split and the like fall one before it. And I even know some teams that are just like, we're going to take a whole split off following that fall one. So it's definitely something. Why, hello, Delco. So you are predicting for blue on this one. Risking it all for Faruska. Faruska, the man, he's going to get the plan to get it going and win this game for Galaxia. And I'll give it this. It's fun to definitely have teams like that where if you got Faruska on the line and then you go to the other side, it seems like Faruska might be playing up a little bit more in terms of the division-wise side of it, where he could end up playing tier 3. But you look at it and you got it where you got to love the fact that certain players are willing to just play with their friends, chillax, have a good time. And honestly, I think sometimes those players come to shock people because they're like, oh, we're playing up against the player who's whatever rank. Like they weren't even supposed to be in this tier. And that's something that definitely makes it a great game when you can get like players like that showing up and playing well. So definitely we'll have to keep an eye on that going for it, as if Faruska can pull this one on out, playing up that level where he could be in tier 3, but playing with his friend and making sure he finds something going forward. And then Delco, I believe you got a cast of your own coming up pretty quick here too, right? How have your casts been going tonight? I know my first one at least ended pretty good, where we ended up having go the whole distance. Radiance was able to pull out the win over 130 Esports in that first one. But it's definitely something getting to watch these teams as they start their IGL season. Well, hello, Wild Matthias. We are looking forward to your game as we go forward here. Actually, if you guys want to be able to join up on lobby, we can get this one going whenever you guys are ready to get into action, as we do have Old Fellas up into this lobby. So it should be in that IGL match server where we will have it all, because once you guys get up in here, we can get this one underway and ideally see some more great action, because we did kick it off with a series going the whole 5 games, and it's great to see evenly balanced Rocket League. Both teams competing at their best. So we're definitely hoping for more of that tonight, and we are hoping you guys at least can come to perform. Fans definitely have it where they're letting us know they are for that Galactic Galaxia team with Faruska, but here we have no others who are left, and preach. already in the lobby, ready to get this one underway, trying to play the spoilers to the, at least the active chatters in the lobby. So, we'll be seeing how this one does end up playing on out shortly. All right, as we do have all players up in the lobby, if they are ready, I will let them get this one underway. Already, old fellas joining in right away, and Galaxia following on up. Galaxia on the blue side, old fellas on the orange side, as we kick this one off. Second match of the night, some 2v2 IGL Rocket League action as this one plays on into the corner. Wild Matthias taking up some possession, but Preach diving in, looking for the center to no others were left. Good pass on a cross, finding no others on the far pipe. That is some insane action to start it on off to Preach. Able to tuck underneath that ball and find a pass, plays it on up and over as Farusco was thinking he could only get it to that near pipe. Good play there to find a 1-0 lead for Old Fellas. Back to the kickoff line. Wild Matthias putting this one back for Farusco. Farusco able to play past no others were left, getting bumped in the process. Not quite able to follow up. Preach tries to play this one on outwards. Matthias now taken to a dribble. He just gets the flick to pop over Preach. Preach trying to play backwards, but Wild Matthias there for it. No others were left. Was at least ready on that goal line to make sure that does not find the back his net that easily. Farusco playing on out, but Preach following up. Great save from Matthias to keep this one on out of the net. No others trying to play it back across, but Farusco at least getting the touch. But it does fall back on down. Preach firing it towards the net and able to tuck this one away. Old Fellas finding success early, up 2. Might just be that start to the IGL season jitters for Galaxia. But Old Fellas definitely coming out strong. If it's the adrenaline, Old Fellas are getting the better of it. So, back to that center line. Matthias and Preach. This one ends up dropping for no others. Farusco playing it back on across. The Preach intercepting here. Farusco just well to at least force this one back on out. Wild Matthias off that sidewall, but no others popping this one on high. Up going for it, but Farusco does well to push it back on across. Wild Matthias once again getting 50. Otherwise might have been on the opening on that one. Out of the far side corner. Up this pop, trying to find a demo, but no others were able to play past one. Preach up for it. Getting back to it, tucking it away. Old Fellas looking very good early in this one as they are finding those passing plays, making the aerial well, and able to find a game that's really working for them to start us on out. 3 minutes, 39 seconds still remains though. For Galaxia find their stride and start to come back into this game. Down this one goes. Preach popping it on high and outwards. Matthias waiting on it, playing a pass back and across, but ends up taking it himself, popping it over the oncoming defender as he was looking for a demo on him. But Farusco able to flick past no others. Preach met by Matthias. This one does drop on down. They end up pinching this into the far side corner. Farusco looking to start. Tries to take an air dribble, but Preach intercepting there and off this side while this goes. Preach back to the center for no others. No others trying to tuck it away and not quite able to find it. Matthias able to get back in time. Back down this goes. Matthias over to Farusco. Farusco starting up a dribble now. Able to pop it past Preach. Preach keeps going for that bump every time that the flick ends up happening. Farusco once again looking for something. Preach able to play over one, but Matthias at least able to push it back on towards that center. Farusco pops it on up. No others able to find it. Farusco getting back in time, making a great save on that one. Off this back wall. Preach plays on out for no others. No others trying to tuck it away. Good save by Matthias yet again. Farusco trying to play on out the demo, trying to come, but able to get past that. But out it plays from Preach to Matthias. So not being followed, so no others getting some possession. No others finding the start to a dribble here, looking for a flick. Farusco at least able to get a touch on it, so it pops on up. Preach not able to find it. Now race for this wall. Farusco trying to fire one from range. Preach able to at least get back. But oh, this goes for Matthias. Matthias firing a bounce shot. No others was at least able to get back to it. Veruska back on out for Matthias. Trying to find that bump plane. Not finding it. No others now. Trying to get back around it, but Matthias at least able to get back in time. But Preach on the follow-up. Able to tuck this one away. Old fellas finding themselves up 4 in game 1. It is an early start, so you can't be positive on how this will end up going, as both teams can obviously change stride and momentum, but Old fellas definitely have their style kind of defined here pretty early in week 1. Veruska 15 this one back on a cross and no others. Fires it right away, and unfortunately for Galaxia, not able to get back to that one in time as it drops on down in the immediate shot. Makes it with Matthias not finding his way back to it. Back to that center line we go. Old fellas looking very convincing in game 1. Matthias dropping it back on down, trying to find his way back to it, but Preach intercepting, putting it back into that blue side corner. On out he goes for Veruska. Flicking this one on across. No others intercepting there. No others playing off that back wall, but Veruska able to slide it on by him. Back to that center line. No others on the play back. Preach. Good air dribble to at least get it across. Trying to pinch there, not quite finding it. No others diving in, forcing this one onwards. Veruska trying to start to dribble out of his corner. No others waiting patiently to make sure that no play does immediately happen. Preach off that side wall, but Veruska able to get back, clears this one on outwards. 50s with no others as this one pops on down. Matthias finding the dribble play now. Back to the orange side corner we go now. Preach can find the clearance, but it does drop on down, but Preach able to get back to it with speed. Push this back towards the blue side corner, trying to drop it. Matthias sitting on it to almost dunk. Not quite able to get it though. Matthias with the save, make sure keeping it on out. Once again, a shot from no others. Once again, a good save from Matthias on into the side. Veruska firing a shot long. No others able to push to go. Veruska trying to find that center off the flick. Not quite getting there. This one does fall back onwards. No others trying to just push onwards. Even his boost. Veruska dropping this one on down, but no others able to get a touch on it. Preach firing it. Ends up going just wide. Will fall there. Old fellas end up taking good game 1. Looking good on that one for Old fellas as they jumped out very convincingly. As it went on, it looked like Galaxia was at least able to get a bit more of a stride, but that start was definitely dominant for Old fellas, where they came out with a lot of energy, and you could really tell in their gameplay they were confident in what they were going for. So that was a big thing there. They definitely jumped out to that early offense. We will see if Galaxia can end up finding a bit more of a stride here, as we've not quite seen the offense go their way yet. I'll always say yet because you never know how momentum will switch in a series, who will turn on for what game, what moments, get what out of each player. Preach Matthias off that sideline, no others looking to take the dribble. Trying to fire a shot across, but Veruska at least able to get the save. Veruska pops over one. Preach now taking to the sidewall, looking for an air dribble. Preach looking for the ceiling shot now. Doesn't look like a ground pinch maybe. Does get it all the way across, but ends up hitting the pipe. Not quite able to tuck that one away. No others looking for a double. Ends up tripling it, not quite finding it, but it does end up falling back on out to Preach off the triple. And does end up being put away. No others not quite able to find it as it goes off that near side pipe and back on out. But display mechanics there to keep it in front of the net was enough to at least get his team all goal. So back to that center line we go. No others and Matthias as this one pops on out. Veruska popping one back on across. Matthias trying to find a dribble now. Able to get past Preach back out to the center. Veruska is there for it. And Galaxia find themselves their first goal of the season on that one to tie us back up at 1 apiece. Definitely a good cut there. Make sure that he did find an opportunity. As back to the center line we go. Veruska and Preach. Preach getting the better of it, but it does fall to Matthias, who tries to start up a dribble, but no others. Able to just dominantly 50 that one. Takes it straight to the back of the net. Old fellows once again regaining their lead with 4:20 remaining. back to that center line. Matthias pushing this one onto that side wall. Breach not quite finding the boost, so has to drop on this one. Matthias off that back wall, trying to find a center play, but no others cutting in. Starting up a dribble with Veruska. Ends up getting 50 by Veruska as he pushes this back to the corner and out. Breach now trying to start something off that back wall for Matthias. Great play defensively to make sure that one does not find the back of his net. Veruska now waiting on it. Tries to play on forward, but no others able to get back to it off that back wall. On out for Preach. Preach just wide. Not able to tuck this one away. Matthias trying to go, but an unfortunate play there, and Preach will tuck it away, and they might even be in a Rule 1 over there. Maybe we'll see it here. Yeah, it looks like they might have been in Rule 1 after that one. Respect to them for at least having it where they had that happen. But old fellas find themselves up 2 goals. 3 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. Off the kickoff now. Pops on backwards. Veruska able to at least push this one on into the orange side corner. Looking to try to find it towards the center, but Preach waiting patiently able to take that one. Play on out. Looking for no others down the center. Good play, but ends up wide of the net. Matthias now trying to start a dribble play of his own. Pops high for Preach. Able to at least get a touch on it. Veruska forcing 50 with no others and out. This one goes. Preach now sitting on it. Looking across for no others. No others. Shot off that crossbar and out. No others. Finding another touch on it. Good save by Veruska. Being patient. Able to dive in front of that touch from Preach to make sure he cannot find the back of the net. Matthias playing this one on outwards. Veruska trying to go around a good flick towards the center, but Matthias and Preach end up meeting, and that's not enough to get the goal. But Matthias finding the dribble again. Preach able to clear this one on out. Veruska having to push it back on wide, trying to get back to it. Able to do so off the back wall now. Preach trying to take high to make sure he can clear this one on out of there. Ends up dropping down for Veruska. 50 pops on high. Matthias and no others up for it. No others getting a touch, but Matthias good read to make sure that does not find the way into the back of his net. Veruska playing it back to the side. Veruska playing on outwards, looking for it. Trying to find the center, but no others. Intercepting there. Matthias now off that sidewall. Preach able to flick it back on outwards. Preach firing a long shot, not finding the net. Up this one goes, looking for it. No others. Matthias end up meeting up. Veruska now trying to take a dribble on out. Trying to play past no others. No others at least getting it towards the center, but Matthias does well to get a touch on it, not allowing Preach to do more. But Preach now looking once again for this ceiling shot, trying to show something, getting back to it, but crossbar and out. Not finding that ceiling there. No others looking for the center, but Veruska able to pop it back on out. But Preach there, but Veruska, good dunk. Start up something. Maybe he can get some offense going, but no others doing well to read the boost situation, making sure that Veruska can't have anything going forward. He's able to intercept there and even beat Matthias on the touch, but it is high, so Preach can take this one back across. Preach looking to try to get something on it, looking like he was trying to hit a musty, but didn't quite have his second jump there. Back this one goes, no others looking to do something, but Matthias playing onwards. Preach intercepted there, as it does end up dropping again. Preach trying to start an air dribble. Not quite finding it. Veruska cut towards the center. No others intercepting there. Matthias and Preach getting 50 across. Veruska playing on up into that orange side corner where no others dropped it low. That by Veruska rolls across the front all the way up and over to that far side corner. No others finding that center. Veruska at least able to get a touch, pushing it on wide as well, back across the net, but looks like Veruska able to win the race to this one. Now Veruska with his own chance for the aerial play, looking for the double off the wall. Veruska not quite able to tuck it away, just wide. Really good effort there out of him. Almost one of the mechanic displays. While Matthias playing on to the side. Preach off the sidewall, looking for the pass back center to no others, but this one ends up just wide. Galaxia find themselves needing 2 in the last 30 seconds of this one. Matthias popping it on outwards, but Veruska up for it, not finding it, but the defender was confused, and Galaxia able to pull back to within 1. As it is 22 seconds remaining, and Old Fellas do still have a lead, but can Galaxia find another one to tie us on up, or will Old Fellas pull themselves to match point here? Pop, instant shot from no others. Matthias off that back wall on out. Veruska playing it back on across. 13 seconds now. Preach off that wall, back on down. No others not quite finding it. Veruska coming across, trying to pop it forward to Matthias, but Preach intercepting. Veruska low, Preach. He's playing it to the corner, and it falls there. Old fellas up 2 in this series. At least a bit better showing, though. Only a 1-goal game this time. Galaxia seeming like they at least were able to find a bit more of a stride for what was working for them. We'll have to see how Game 3 ends up playing on out. Its old fellas definitely do look convincing, though, in the games where it seems like the mechanics are on for them today, and they are taking advantage of it. As we go into Game 3 between Galaxia and old fellas. Veruska and no others. Getting up off that kickoff. Preach coming in, slow playing, dropping a shot. Good save by Matthias and good patience. Not just dive in when he's trying to play that slow. Matthias back off this sidewall. On outwards. Preach dropping it back down to no others. No others looking for a play, but not quite finding anything off the wall. Veruska coming in, playing it to that back wall. Back on towards the center. Matthias firing one, but no others able to dive in there. Not allowed to continue, but Veruska off the pipe to Matthias, and Matthias tucks it away. Galaxia with a 1-goal lead, 34 seconds into Game 3. Back to that center line. Veruska playing back on out across, looking for the bump play, but no others not phased. Able to push it on past Matthias too. Preach bump on his way of trying to take it. Back to no others. No others starting off a dribble. Looks like a bit of bumps are happening, but no others met by Matthias. This one pops straight on up. Preach not able to find it either. Matthias trying to get there. Actually, for Veruska will. And for Veruska tucking it away, giving Galaxia a 2-goal lead. 55 seconds into Game 3. Back to that center line, no others and Matthias. Laying this one back on the cross. Reach off that side wall, trying to fire it forward. This one goes back on out and draws for Veruska. Trying to advance onwards, but no others. Intercepting here. Back to Matthias as he plays on outwards now. Preach, turning on it, trying to start up a dribble. Hit by one, taking to the air, looking for an air dribble bump with Matthias. Able to cover in time. No others now looking for a flick. Once again, Matthias able to loop back around and not allow that play to happen in a way that's been possible. Preach taking to the air. Veruska, though, doing well to push it back onto the side. Off the sidewalk. No others met by Veruska, and over this plays Matthias. Matthias trying to go for an air dribble, but Preach intercepting there. Off the sidewall now. Back down it falls Veruska. Off that sidewall, but no others able to be there for it, making the first read on it, tucking it away. Old fellas pulling back to within 1. 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. As we go back to that center line. Preach playing onwards. Matthias popping this on high. Preach trying to wrap around it and just tuck it away. Not able to do so, but the bump play to try to open up no others, but Veruska able to get there in time. Matthias pushing this on outwards. Taking the low dribble, pops past another one. Preach there in time. Veruska not quite able to find the save. Almost found a really good save on it, but unfortunately unable to do so. Is the shot by Preach was strong enough to find its way past Veruska and into the back of the net. Old fellas tying us back up at 2 apiece. 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in this Game 3. Veruska off the back wall. Preach ends up not quite making the right read, and Veruska is able to tuck it away. Finding another goal for himself. Pump member 72,859 in the series, Hodge. That many. You've been counting? Geesh. Back to that center line. Matthias and no others. And once again, following up with those bumps that Hodge was talking about. Back on down. This one falls. Matthias playing to the sidewall, but Preach looking to try to get back to this one. Not quite finding it. Veruska able to play this one back on to the corner. No others popping it on high, back off that sidewall, dropping on down. But Matthias able to compose himself, but Preach diving in there as soon as Matthias gets a touch on it. And that's a hard one to read. If you definitely have on ball cam, you don't know that that guy's coming. And unfortunately, Preach dives in on it, put that one back on home. So Old Fellas tying us back on up at 3 apiece. 2 minutes, 26 seconds remaining. A little bit more than half of this game has been played. Veruska going out with a bump on no others. How'd you better be adding to that bump counter. Preach playing it back towards the corner. Veruska popping at this one on high. Matthias able to push it on out of there. Trying to find it off the sidewall. Back on towards the center with no others. Wrapping around at Matthias. Back over to Veruska. Veruska tries to fire one, but no others and Preach were patient. This one will need to be pushed to the side by Matthias. No others. Off the sidewall now. Waiting on Matthias. Waiting on Preach. To at least intercept. Not allow that back across the center. Veruska trying to find a center play, but a touch of these popped it on high and out of there. Veruska looking back for Matthias, but soft touch. I don't know if that's enough. Is it? Maybe out to Veruska. Veruska able to tuck it away. Not quite able to tuck it away. Actually, it's the pipe. I spoke a little too soon with my words. Almost a great play there. But Matthias dropping it back on outwards. It was a really good passing play between the two to try to get him a chance. But now, looks like Old Fellas are on the attack. No others firing one. They end up hitting the pipe this time. Veruska playing out to Matthias. Preach. Intercepting, trying to get back to it. Not quite finding it. Veruska able to at least get a touch on outwards, dropping on down. Veruska with one. Try to get his pass on the stack here. Not finding it. No others. Patiently waiting. Just comfortable playing it to that sidewall when he needs to. Trying to go on, but Veruska popping it off that back wall. Preach up for it. Ends up high, and Veruska does well to at least push it back on across and away. Veruska off that sidewall, looking for an air play. Starting one, gets a touch on it. Preach almost dunked by Veruska. Up, Matthias tries to drop a shot. No others in the hustle back, but Veruska able to get that next touch that is needed and put Galaxia back on up one with 31 seconds remaining. Back to that center line, no others, and Matthias hitting on up, back on out, crosses, goes. Drops back in the corner, Matthias now trying to start a dribble of his own. Soft touch with Preach there. Getting up on it, Veruska beating Preach and pinches this one on out. Time ticks off the clock. Old Fellow is going to need a goal if they want to be able to close it out in this one. Otherwise, we will be seeing a game 4 off the sidewall for Veruska, but Preach able to push it on outwards. Matthias once looking off the sidewall, no others, dropping it down. Preach not quite able to find it as Veruska kills it. Galaxia at least starting finding a win. Are they the comeback kids? Hodge, we will have to see as Galaxia do end up taking game 3 and at least forcing us to game 4. For Galaxia, at least finding a match win on the season for that one. But are they able to pull off the unthinkable and pull off the full reverse sweep? Or will Old Fellas shut them on out here and close out the series in one of the next 2 games? Matthias off that sidewall, firing a shot early for Preach. Up for it, not allowing it to go onwards. Veruska off that sidewall, down, but no others diving in, firing a shot just high, not quite able there, but getting back to it. Veruska at least able to save that one, push it on outwards. No others starting up a dribble, firing a shot, good placement right in between where the 2 defenders could possibly cover. As Veruska was going high, and Veruska finds himself actually in a very odd spot off that high pipe, finding the backflip, but good placement nonetheless, finding the 1-0 lead for Old Fellas. Back to that sidewall, Preach. Looking for a ceiling shot yet again, getting back to it, but didn't quite. He did have to jump off the ceiling in order to get back to that one, so he did not have that second flip. Bump play, but no others diving in. Instantly firing. Veruska hits the first, but it drops right on down there, and no others diving in to tuck it away, giving Old Fellas a 2-0 lead, 34 seconds into game 4. Back to that center line. Veruska and Preach meeting back on up. Off the sidewall now. Preach. Demo's on Veruska, but no others. Playing off that sidewall and Matthias. 50s back on the cross we go. Preach. Trying to find something. Fake on the first. Playing across, but ends up taking it to no others. No others. Looking for the center, but Matthias does well to keep it in that corner. No others looking for the play on out. Preach. Good pass and a good bump play in front by no others to open that up for Preach. Giving Oldfellows a 3-goal lead. Smart awareness on no others that if he could just go at Veruska and open up the net for his team. And in this one, Oldfellows finding 3 goals in that first minute. While Matthias trying to find something now. Playing across. Veruska, good touch on it. Matthias not quite able to get back to it. Preach now. Starting up, looking for the center. Crossing no others. Not quite able to find it as he ends up just wide, hitting the pipe on it. They play on back. Trying to take possession with boost. Matthias diving in, playing it back toward that corner. No others. Grabbing that corner boost. Looking to play on out, but Veruska now looking to have next touch on it. Instead, he actually leaves it for Matthias. Matthias met by no others and cross. This one will play back in the blue side corner. No others looking. Trying to drop it down center, but ends up just far. Preach trying to get back to it. Matthias does well to flip by one, but no others. He's forcing a touch up to just go with Preach, playing almost like a bump demo present. Preach playing back towards the center and ends up finding a way to put this one away. I'm not even positive what happened, as I thought Preach didn't have a chance getting back to it. Played it on down, was actually looking for the center, but when it did pop off Matthias, it did end up going in his favor. 85,000 bumps at this point. I will not argue with you there. Veruska taking it on, flipping it, trying to find it towards the center, but Preach ends up dribbling there. Demo to at least open it up when Matthias grabs possession himself. No others up for it, playing off that sidewall. Back to the center, Preach up for it now. Trying to get back to it with a double, but not able to tuck it away. No others firing a shot, and Matthias not quite able to get there. Oldfellows looking once again pretty convincing here in Game 4, where they probably are looking like they're going to close this out unless Galaxia finds a real healthy stride. But Oldfellows, once again, off kickoff, Veruska dropping it. Preach able to make the read, playing it on outwards. Never know, Galaxia might find something, but definitely looks convincing for Oldfellows as they pass on out once again. No others. Good pass play to Preach. Opening it up, 6-0 for the Oldfellows. Oldfellows were not happy with that loss, Hodge. You are correct. They decided to turn it on up for Game 4, wanting to close it on out. 2 minutes, 28 seconds remain. Veruska trying to play high. No others. Not letting that one happen. Veruska now needing to play low. Met by Preach. Veruska able to get the next touch on it, but not able to sneak it by no others without a touch. Comes back towards the center. Preach trying to take the dribble play up. No others looking for a bump on one. And able to almost just drive it straight into the net, but Veruska does get back in time, making the save that is needed. Veruska off that sidewall, but no others actually able to step. Not allowing it for free. Veruska trying to start up a dribble. Ends up leaving for Matthias, who pops over one, but Preach next to it. Veruska off that sidewalk, trying to get another touch, able to at least play onwards. Are they able to get back to it and find a goal? It looks like Veruska will be able to tuck this one away. 1-6 now. Very daunting task to score 5 goals in minute 44. But at least there's some sort of momentum swing to get Galaxia on the board. Minute 44 remains. Preach. They decide to fake the kickoff, but it ends up playing straight on out for no others. Matthias needs to get back to this one, playing it back towards that corner. Veruska dropping a shot, and no others off that sidewall. Matthias diving in, getting a touch on it. Preach off the sidewall on out. No others able to beat Veruska to this one. Get the play back on out. Preach now back to the center. Matthias popping one high off that crossbar. Veruska not quite able to tuck it away. Instead ends up hitting the pipe. Preach playing it back down the field, and he will find the goal to bring us to the Brazil. 7-1 for the Old Fellas. 1:09 remaining. They would need about a goal per every 11 seconds at this point. It is looking very daunting, and it looks like Old Fellas will close this one on out. College Brazil is a beautiful place. As no others plays this one back on across. Breach. Bringing it on over, trying to show off some aerial mechanics, but Brewski at least able to get in the way of that one. No others firing a shot, not able to tuck it away as this one goes back on its side. Bias. Starting up a dribble of his own, tries to flick with no others. Not allowing that one to find the back of his net. Peruska off that side. No others not finding it. Peruska trying to find back in the center. Passes it for Matthias, and Matthias tucks it away. We at least will not be stuck at that scoreline high for long. So if they at least pull it back 2-7, 36 seconds remains now. Back to that center line. Matthias and no others meeting back on up. No others in breach, having a little bit of a miscommunication there. And Peruska will dive in and play this one back on outwards. No others. Met by Peruska. Peruska trying to find the center, but Breach does well to pinch this one on outwards. Looking for no others down the center. Is he able to wrap around this one? Not looking likely. Back up. This one pops on high. Matthias is dropping it inside, but Breach. And it's back to the corner. Oh, heavy pinch back on out across. Peruska advancing onwards. No others, not allowing it to get further. Peruska fires one, but Preach able to make the save. Will drop there. All the fellas finalizing up the series on that one. So, definitely GG's to all of you guys in the game. Galaxia end up coming out and taking at least a game. Old Fellas definitely looked convincing. They had a great start. I always like to do that. It's always fun to cast, so I'm always for it. I am glad to be casting you guys anytime, so it is one of those where Old Fellas looked very convincing. You could tell at some point in there they were trying to get a bit more creative with some of their goals and stuff, where they went for a couple attempts that you might say would otherwise probably not be on the board, but they are able to close this one on out 3-1. Galaxy at least find that game, and I definitely enjoy casting you guys, as I said. Great time, Peruska and Matthias. You guys had your nice moment there in Game 3. Old Fellas definitely looked convincing in Game 1 and 4. You guys at least found your stride there a little bit in the middle of the series. So ideally, you guys are able to keep that up going forward and build off these early games to play going forward. Hey, it's one of those where I don't blame you, because I'm in kind of a similar situation where I got a couple good friends who play, and then me and one of the other friends who aren't that great are also playing some twos this split. So we are expecting to also not have the best of time, and we are also in Tier 2. I'm not positive exactly what we are, but yeah, I'm also playing, and I have a situation like that where it's just like, hey, we're not the good friends, Panda, all right? Chill. We're not the good friends. We're also in that situation where we were not able to find a win in our first series. So you guys definitely at least overperformed that. So good luck to you guys going forward. Old Fellas definitely looked convincing. Good display, especially right off the start. The aerial mechanics were there. But we'll obviously going to see in the following weeks how these teams end up following up after this one. So Hajlaj wanting to hit the... So we will at least hit that. But yeah, definitely a start to the season for you guys, where you guys can figure out what you guys want to work on, and ideally just have fun playing the game, even if that's what it's all about, because IGL, everyone plays for their own reasons, and it is that. Old Fellas finding pretty convincing Game 1 and Game 4. Panda, I will end up finalizing that now. We will manage that prediction. Choose the outcome. The Old Fellas did end up finalizing it 3-1. It definitely was something where you can see both these teams will have something to prove going forward. Old Fellas definitely, if they can keep up the way they started Game 1 with the aerial mechanics even on display, that looked really clean off the start from Old Fellas. And I expect them to be doing great things going forward. And Galaxia, you guys definitely have your room to build. As you saw, you guys were able to take a game and everything. So we will get to see both these teams going forward. And once again, we got one more cast to go, but this one, I might just change the title and screw around a bit. Well, I will at least look on Twitch because we might do, if there's something going on, we might end up going for the raid, but I just want to know what we have as options. Alrighty. You know what? Delco is at least still live, so we will throw it in his direction for a little bit because he did come on, chill out with Ruski and them. And then I will kick it on up in about 15 minutes for my last game of the night. So we'll probably end it on there, but we will end up hosting on the way out. Alrighty. Let's see. Where can I do this? We'll do this, and then we will go live for one more following. But we'll give him the shout out. He definitely deserves it. He came up in here and was supporting for Farouz getting them, and then we will go live later. So that is where we'll raid for now, and we will then come back in a little bit to cast the final match of the night. Alrighty, go have fun in there. Remember, once you get in there, get rid of the dash raid and have fun. So give him some love, and then for those of you who will come back to my stream in a bit, I will see you then for the last one of my night. Later.